Hi everybody, Bruce Dixon here. Let me turn down the music. The music tells you where I'm spending my time. What I want to ask you right now is, how are you communicating with your immune system today? If you're not communicating with your immune system today, I want to know why, because it's so easy to do. Now, I agree that the training on muscle testing in the last 30, 40 years has been pretty atrocious for most of the people who are talented. Most people who are talented don't want to learn it as a scientific system. They want to learn it as a way of self-sensitivity and empathy with their own inner child. So that's what we'll be doing in how to communicate with your immune system tonight. We'll be doing that. We'll be doing exercises, a bunch of exercises, so that you learn the language your immune system is speaking to you. And so you might want to ask, well, what language is my immune system speaking? Well, this is really not so hard. The similarities of talking with your inner child and talking with your immune system are about 100%. And it's really helpful for people to talk about the immune system is really the same as your inner child, your little artist, your etheric body, and a bunch of other things. And we talk to all of these basically the same way. How do we do that? We do it the same way we talk to a 3-year-old, and the same way that any adult who's good with young children talks to a 3-year-old. You get down on your knee and you listen to them. You find out what they like, what they don't like, and after you listen to them for a while, and you have some rapport, then you might be able to get 3 yeses out of them. And if you can get 3 yeses out of them about how they're feeling and what they like, then they might be willing to listen to you. So this is what everyone needs to do to learn to talk with their immune system. And this is not that hard to do, but it is new kind of language, and no one really knew how to do this until the 1990s at least. And we had to kind of give up on making muscle testing scientific. So we'll be doing that in this class. I hope you understand that your rational mind is not the expert on your body or your immune system or your health. Your immune system is the expert. Your immune system has the answers if you can learn to communicate with it. So another thing people ask me is, Bruce, why do you say that everyone is testing 24 hours a day already? I say this because a lot of people don't think muscle testing is real, or don't know what it is or how to use it, and they have a lot of skepticism about it. A lot of that is because of that scientific approach that was a failed approach. If we look into the body and we go into the small intestine, what do you have in your small intestine? You have these little fingers called villi, and they are waving through the liquid that flows through the small intestine. And what are they doing? They're testing. So I'm going to tell you what they're doing, but this is only language from the neck up. They, of course, don't have this language. So muscle testing is about making all this activity that you're already doing just more understandable to you from the neck up. Okay, so what they're doing is they're looking at little amino acids, little pieces of chlorophyll, and they're saying, is this little nutrient for me at this time? Is this little nutrient beneficial for my body at this time? If it's beneficial, the villi takes it in, and it goes right into the bloodstream, and then your bloodstream escorts it to where, well, your etheric body, your bloodstream, escorts it to where in your body it'll be useful for building new tissues. If it's toxic, and the little villi says, ooh, that's not for me, it just lets it go by. That's all it does. And all we're doing in any kind of muscle testing, kinesiology testing, inner testing, self-testing, this O-ring testing, which is a little hard to see here, like that, is making this process more obvious and more accessible to the rational mind so that you can get more use out of it. People like to ask me, what language does my immune system speak, Bruce? And what we'll be learning in this class is Czechoslovakia, which is the language of your immune system. No, let's be serious now. Your immune system doesn't speak any language that you know from the neck up. Yeah? A 3-year-old will learn some language. But before the 3-year-old learns language is where most of your immune system lives, in the pre-verbal. What's the language of your pre-verbal part of your consciousness, your psyche? And of course, it's your sense of well-being. Your immune system speaks the language of well-being. Do I feel good or do I not feel good? On a scale of 10, how good do I feel? Now that's introducing a second language, the language of numbers and scales. The way you communicate with your immune system is going to be different from the way I communicate with my immune system. And everybody's communication protocol with their immune system is somewhat unique. What's going to be common to all of them is that your immune system, my immune system, everybody else's immune system is going to speak the language of well-being. Do I feel good about that or not about that? Is that beneficial for me or not beneficial for me? And we're going to do exercises in the class so that you can determine your most open sensory channels in your immune system so that you can practice these, and we'll give you time to practice. Most of us from the neck up are visual, though you don't have to be. From the neck down, most of us are something different. We have a different most open sensory channel. For almost everybody, that's going to be kinesthetic. And we need to start talking about our sense of well-being as our strongest sensory channel next to the visual. Some people want to know if what we're going to do is like muscle testing with, arm pull down or dowsing for answers. Yes and no. Arm pull down is by far the hardest way to get answers from your immune system. Because it's the most outer form. Dowsing is a little more inner, but the O-ring has really kind of come into the fore, and of course there are more inner ways than that, and I'll show you at least 20 ways to test. And the first 20 people who come will get a handout of these. People like to ask me, what's the best way to test? And really the answer to that is the way that works for you. I'm really serious about that. If there was one best way to test, we would be doing it. And one of the big myths we have to get rid of in muscle testing and kinesiology is that arm pull down is the best way for everybody to test. This is pretty sad, and the O-ring testing has been proven to be much more reliable. But even that way is not for everybody. We'll be going through a lot of different ways so you can find a way that works for you. Now, some people have this issue. What if I can already test? Well, if you can already test, you can already talk with your immune system. Please help teach the class. Please come and help the people who are having difficulty. One of the most fun things to do is to help people get through their difficulties in testing. That helps them talk with their inner child, with their little artist, with their subconscious, their unconscious. And all the benefits that can come from that can come from better communication. So there's a lot of reasons to come to this course, and I look forward to seeing all of you there.